Thank you very much. Nice to see you both.
Nice
Nice.
to see you.
Colin, nothing about this production could have been easy with the subject matter and trying to give it the weight that it deserves.
Mhm.
Um, what's the most challenging part of playing Bob Broberg, as he seems to be the only person in this story who has at least a sliver of understanding of what's going on,
Mhm.
even though he
Mhm.
can't bring it to the forefront. What's it like as a parent, as an actor, to play this
Yeah,
part?
yeah, challenging, incredibly challenging. Very. I've never been in a position in which I had no frame of reference for what this character was going through. I mean, really, the only thing I had in common with the fact was that we're both fathers, but that's not enough when you think about it. I mean, Bob, his worldview, the way that he was raised, his faith, all of these things come together and form him, and yet you see the decisions that he and Marianne Broberg made together, and it's a head scratcher, especially with hindsight, knowing what we know now about all of these subjects. So there was a challenge for sure, trying to get a better understanding of the man. And so I just grabbed at any straws that I could, and just sort of jumped in wholeheartedly, because that was really what the role required.
And Mckenna. So as I was watching, I realized that Jan's fate really isn't all that different than someone like Esther in The Handmaid's Tale. You have now played more than one young woman who's been kind of groomed um, for really just some awful self self-imposed reasons by male figures. How does that affect you as a young woman playing these kind of roles?
I'm honored to be a young woman playing these kinds of roles because I find that usually productions will go for someone older to play young or an adult actress to play 14, 15. But being being a young woman and my entire life, it's always been very important to have an understanding of these situations. And that's the unfortunate reality, is that I have to have a big understanding of, I need to look out for this, I can't trust this. And that's horrible, but it's important to know. And so I'm honored to be able to tell these stories at my age versus hiring 18 to play 14. Because if people are so uncomfortable with the scenes that I'm doing, and we're uncomfortable with the fact that 14-year-old had to do this scene with someone else whenever I'm acting, and it's a very safe space on set, why aren't we doing more for the real stories that are going on and the real girls who are going through this? It's dark and it's a lot, but I'm honored to be a part of these stories. And I'm honestly, it's this show and Handmaids are probably my two favorite things that I've done.
And this question is for both of you. And let's stick with you first, Mckenna. What was it like having Jan on set, and what kind of information was she able to give you to kind of bring your characters, her family, alive?
She really gave me so much, which was amazing for me because I was very, very nervous playing her. It was scary, and it was so important that she was a part of it. But it meant so much to me how open and honest with me she always, always was. The first time we ever talked was for 2 hours, and she cried and I cried, and she's just incredible. And I'm so happy to have her in my life now, just as a person, and not only just because I played her and I got to have such a connection and learn so much from her, but just because I think that she's such an incredible person that I love knowing and being able to talk to.
And how about you, Colin?
It was very helpful having Jan as a resource. I did not speak with her much during the production. I spoke with her before we sort of started. She left me a very sweet note that was basically giving me all the freedom to do the work that I needed to do, and she gave me her blessing. And so we texted quite a bit, and I would just ask her just little questions, if she remembered any phrases that I could incorporate into the show, if what music she remembers being in the house when she was a kid. But really, that blessing, not only knowing that she was a producer on the show and that she, was involved throughout every step. But just having that foresight to go, do your work. Don't worry about whether you're doing something right, or you're doing everything that you need to be doing. You are who we want. You follow your instincts. We trust you, and go. And that was incredibly freeing and incredibly kind and very aware. For her to be aware of that, just to give the actors that sense of freedom, I thought was just absolutely class.
Well, thank you again for talking with me today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.